Wild tales are told of how criminals in the old days were killed by being thrown into this pool with weights around their necks. The story on the Dead Man's Hole is first news I've got of it was written by Marjorie Kidder, who was a work progress administration writer during the Great Depression. But anyway, she writes, a mile or so down the Austin Highway is a sort of a falls in a small stream, Middle Creek, about a mile down. It's one of the beauty spots of the county. The creek widens out and runs smoothly over a large expanse of red rock, sloping down 15 feet to a quiet small pool. This pool is good for swimming, but it is said to be bottomless. Tales are told of how criminals in the old days were killed by being thrown into this pool with weights around their necks. Now that's her grandfather being in with the Blanco County troubles back, the rustling days, and he was a nester. That's the theory that she would have heard it from. Mm-hmm. In the 50s, Shell Oil did a geological survey out here, and they specifically called it Dead Man's Hole too. So this is now.
See, they always call it mill seat.
Mill seat, yeah.
Yeah.
As the community was around here, I think, wasn't it?
Well, I assumed it meant this right here. I mean, because that's where the mill was. That's just what I find hard to say believe. Now, it's not me, discounting what y'all researched, because I haven't. But it seems kind of dumb to throw them in there when the best spring around here is right there.
During the cattle rustling days, 1876, 1877, 1878 in Blanco County, there's a lot of them old boys that were indicted for cattle rustling and stuff who never
made it to trial.
Never made it to trial. Now, whether they disappeared, or some of them have been known to escape, but makes you want to go.
Sure. I can't think of the exact date when this mill was built. I just can't imagine. I mean, maybe they threw them in there with the mill too, but
if this guy was a miller for the farmers and their grain, he might have been on the nester side of things, Lewis capped. Now, again, I'm just speculating, but I thought it was interesting that Marjorie Kidder would have had that information. No one else would have said something. She heard it somewhere.
Yeah.
So
we get some hellacious floods around here. I mean, I've seen it a waterfall from here way over to here. This whole top is a waterfall into here. And I mean,
cool.
You're talking about washout gravel. I mean, and big rocks, So it moves some stuff around. So it's hard for me to believe that it stays filled up in the bottom, because every flood flushes it out, I think. Yeah. But it may deposit other gravel in there too. I mean, it deposits gravel all up and down this creek when it floods.
Anyway, Eddie was fascinated by the idea of Dead Man's Hole, and he wants to do a flyover of it, or however convenient with you guys.
Yeah, you want to walk down there first?
Yeah, I'm going to bring my camera too.
Now, show me where is this the mill site? Right here?
Yes, this is where the mill was. And this was supposedly put in by Phelps, which they were one of the first settlers here from what I heard. They settled further down the creek. And so I guess one of his sons came up here and built this. There's a heck of a spring right under this. You see that box or well house looking thing right there?
Yeah.
At the bottom of it, there's a hell of a spring.
Oh, where's the well house at?
Well, it's there.
Is that it up there, the foundation?
No, it's down.
Oh, right here.
Tree. Yeah.
This is the foundation of the mill then?
Yes.
Cool.
Isn't that something? That's beautiful. Now, you can see the blue hole or green hole, whatever you want to call it. Now, what's the cutout over there in the bank? Was that just done
erosion.
by erosion? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think what most of that other stuff is deposits, you know what I mean? And that's probably the original rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's calcium.
Now was this a water wheel dam, or did they have a raceway, or did they did they have a dam built somewhere right in here, a wood dam, or
now this hole used to not stay this full. I assume it was probably, you see this where this rock's jutting out into the hole?
Yeah.
I imagine that rock was exposed back in the day, because there's a little dam. I'll show it to you. Right
Okay.
here, that backs this water. Now it's not huge. It's not huge, and it's not real tall, so it backs the water up maybe 2 feet. Originally, this wasn't here. You know, they put.
Okay, so that's new. Now there's another dam right down here. Did the county do that, or did the owner do it?
The Bird Ranch, I believe, hired somebody to do that.
That's a lot of money to be.
And there was another. There's a piece of it up there, and I think it has a date on it, but I want to say it's from the 50s or 60s.
Okay.
There was one up there.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Way up there, about 30, 40 feet above the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see both ends of it.
You can really see that hole good, can't you, from up here?
Yeah, it's not as clear as it can.
You know what? It could have been a lot deeper back then, and filled up with silt. I know in a flood, but you know, something that deep, it's going to be hard to get it to.
Oh, you should see it coming over here. I've seen. You see that deer feeder out here?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you can see the crank handle on that deer feeder.
I can.
I've seen drift on that, and I've actually witnessed it. All that water up here. Now it falls down. You know, this whole top is a waterfall.
Oh, the whole thing's a waterfall from here all the way back up to past there, I guess, isn't it? Over the other side of those trees.
Yeah.
You just can't imagine it because you don't really see. I pass all these dips in the road coming up here around Kendalia and all that, and it says things like Jones Creek. And I look down.
Not much of a creek, but
there's no water. Where I come from, they call it a ditch.
Yeah. It don't take that long, you know. Especially, it's unbelievable the water that comes right here and up this other little creek. This is called Possum Holler, is what they call it.
Yeah.
There's a tremendous amount of water comes through there.
So last night, did it flood in at all?
No, not
no,
last night.
Not enough rain.
No,
okay.
But,
where's the Mill Seat Branch Creek? That comes down up here somewhere, doesn't it? That little side creek that's a dry creek.
That one is called Possum Holler, is what I've heard it called. I always just thought that this was Mill Seat. There's not another branch running into it here. Now there's some more further that away, but they're dry creeks like this, you know, going into it. But I always heard this was Mill Seat.
Okay, yeah, that's the mill seat where the seat was milled.
Okay, we want to fly now. What?
You are the pilot.